first passport for this semester, so thank you all for attending. Today we have Mr. Gerald Condon here to present a Refining Your Strengths. He's married to Jennifer and has two daughters, Michelle and Molly, and one granddaughter, Paisley. And we cannot forget his dog, Princess. He's worked 18 years in building and design and space utilization department. His greatest accomplishment is the design and construction management of the Edison Plaza building. He created and owns Collision and Classic for 29 years, Gerald Condon Properties for 10 years, Spindletop RV Park for 10 years, Collision Glass for 8 years, Beaumont Building Services for 3 years. He prides himself for creating satisfied clients, helping employees reach beyond their potential, collecting and improving buildings, and owning and driving a Ferrari. Please help me in welcoming Mr. Condon.
Thanks, everyone. I'm really happy to see all of you. I've got my assistant here, Sage, for the moment, and we're going to be handing out something for you. Just hold this in your hand as we go through this conversation. I'm going to work on this side, and we're going to talk. I'm going to get to know you. You're going to get to know me. The story here is that I'm just a businessman. The great news is I'm the same guy that you are today. I used to be at Lamar University. Thank goodness I graduated. They even asked me back a few times to talk, just to have some fun. You never know what's going to happen in life. My life's been, you got it taken care of? My life's been blessed, I'll tell you that. But it's been fun too. And that's what's crucial about it. You want to be able to develop yourself into something that's fun, something that is beyond what you can imagine. Because trust me, your future has not been written yet. You're writing it as you go along. And so the storyline of this is we want you to find your own and create your own success. Everyone has their own style. Everyone has their own method. There's a separate path for each one of us. It won't be the same for me as it is for you. Some will fall into success. You're unbelievably lucky. Okay, just unbelievably. Some of us will be walking out to the stadium, trip over a $100 bill, but you won't see it. The guy behind you will see it and pick it up. You'll get a skinned knee, he'll get the $100. That's how sometimes things are in life. But what I want to do today is help you create your own success. Now, a lot of this is based on experience. A lot of this is based on the obvious common sense. But none of it's hard. None of it's difficult. And all of it you control. Okay? So the first thing I want to help you understand is that feeling of success. How do I get there? Is it too difficult for me to imagine? Some dream, some don't have dreams. Let's all work from that basis point. We're brand new at this and we're going to get started. And so here's the first little group. These are all happy people. I assume they're all successful. They've all done something. Either they all got ice cream or something happened to them to make them all jump up as a group. When I Googled, this is a funny fact, when I Googled successful people and the images, this is one of the images I saw. So then I thought, well, that's easy. That was way too. Let me Google unsuccessful people. I'm thinking, maybe I've got a group of people all going, something like that. No, you know what they showed me? People at war. People protesting. I was like, wow. There's a big difference in my idea of successful people and unsuccessful people than what the internet has for unsuccessful. Yeah, you're pretty unsuccessful if you're at war. Yeah, if you're protesting in the streets, not a good day, obviously, but I thought, what an irony. What an irony that the internet has placed on us, that unsuccessful people are just totally in chaos. Well, that's not necessarily true. Because these successful people have either accomplished something or done something, individually or as a group. Some of you work in group settings in your classes, where the whole group works together to get a grade. Other of you are working individually to get that individual grade, to be exposed, to get involved. What we want to make sure is that you're honing yourself, that you're preparing yourself for each one of these challenges, whether it be groups or individual. And so as I went through a little further, I found that the word success and failure takes only 7 letters. Only 7 letters, and it's the same amount for each. But think about it. Look at the irony. The hard edge of that little dice piece is the knife edge difference between being successful or failing. It's that knife edge that you have to think about. Because everybody goes, oh man, it didn't take nothing. I can do that walking back. Sure, you probably can. And as I said, some of you will be very lucky and will be able to provide that. But others of you, like myself, are going to have to work extra hard. You see, when Lamar asked me to come back and talk to you, they obviously didn't check my GPA. Because my GPA was not in the top 10. I was probably about 10 off the bottom, but I wasn't on the top 10. They just looked at the wrong end of the scale. So my story to all of you is, you can be successful, but there's a knife's edge difference between success and failure. Let me give it to you in a simple example. Run a stop sign. Run a red light. How close are you to a catastrophe? Go to sleep while you're driving. 1 minute you got a destination. Next minute you could be in the hospital. It's a knife's edge. Put something on the internet that you think's funny, that other people don't think is funny. Bang. Knife's edge. Success, failure. Real quick. Use Facebook a little too fragrantly. Watch what happens. Your photos, your images, your messages that me as an employer look at a little later on as you're in my offices applying for a job. Guess where we go to look for your detail and background? Facebook. Bingo. Look what I found. Look what my people dig up on you in the first few minutes. And it's all of a sudden like, yeah, but wait a minute, you don't understand, Mr. Congress. That was back whenever I was doing this, and I've changed. That's hard to erase. Success or failure is always a knife's edge. Study appropriately, be prepared, take the test. You probably have the numbers to prove your hard work. Sometimes you don't prepare. You run out a little longer than necessary, hang out with the gang a little longer, don't quite get it all down, don't ask the questions, don't get tutoring, don't find that added value of some friend of yours sharing it with you. You're on the bottom of that. It's real simple, folks. So let's go a little further. Here's the best one of all. Success is not a government program. This is all about you. You own it. You own success, or you can own the opposite. It's you. It's not guaranteed. No one's handing it to you. There won't be any benefits associated for just an attempt. It's either you can or you can't. It's pretty much black or white in the arrow of how you succeed or how you don't. Sure, you can get real close. That's okay. You can be second place. That's okay too. I've been second place many times. I've been dead last many times. Not all of my ideas and all of those companies that you saw were always successful 24/7. There are some setbacks. And we'll talk about that a little later on. The setbacks associated to it sometimes can be devastating. They can be just a little skinned elbow. It's not a big deal. I got it. Or they can be absolutely heart-wrenching. Now, we'll also talk about how you deal with those when it happens. So no one owes you success. You control your own destiny for success. This is all about you. Parents can't push you over, and if they are, they need to leave you alone and let you do your own thing. Okay? You need to be able to break free and do it on your own. Just listen to me, guys. When you do it yourself, no matter what it is, you're more proud of it. You're more proud of it if you do it yourself than if someone did it for you. I'll tell you a story about that later. Let's go to the first little segment. Here we go. First part's about planning. It's about setting your goals. It's about thinking. It's about being creative. How many times have you said, you know what, man, I don't know if I should even do this. I'm not even sure. Dream it, create it, think it, try it. Here's your first segment. Being creative. Get it going. Get your juices flowing. I don't care if you're writing a book, making a recipe, creating a new art form, engineering the latest marvel that we've never seen before, designing an app, anything. Whatever your curriculum is, get in it, dream it, and follow that up with positive action. The idea of I have an idea, but I sit right on that curve of that step and never move, never goes from the next step. You've got to be active. You've got to do it. You've got to get involved. You've got to start getting the juices flowing. Because again, being stagnant won't do anything. It may make you a little bit older as you just sit there, but it won't make you successful. And certainly in all of your different ways, you can see the words I've set down. You've got your own words in your mind of what being active is and having positive action. Because there's many great ideas. There are many great concepts that never got off the ground because no one ever did it. It's not that they didn't dream it. You ever sit with somebody sometimes and you see something all of a sudden just came up? No telling what it could be. Just came up and you go, oh man, I had that idea. I thought about that 3 years ago. Remember that time we were out, we were all talking about that? And somebody went, yeah, well why didn't you do it? Well, okay, so that's my story. It doesn't take millions to be creative and start positive action. It doesn't take millions of dollars. It takes pencil, paper, iPad, emails, action, meeting, collecting information, putting it all together in positive action. And then be ready to address it and readdress it. Edit. Get right down to it. Look, it's all about getting the ideas on paper or ideas out of your head onto some subject format and then start massaging it, getting it better. Look, architecture. When you start architecture, as I do, there's the first draft. I have the first idea that comes to me, maybe in my sleep, maybe as I'm walking down a hallway, maybe as I'm driving. First draft comes right out. I'm banging out on a scratch sheet of paper. It may be a napkin at lunch while we're all eating. And I come up with this concept, bang, 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 there it is. That's the initial seed. That's not the finished project. Just like a draft on a thesis paper, you draft the first segment, that's not the finish. You're going to go through and edit, throw that paper away, start over. The base comes back, you edit some more. Man, it's great. It's great to be in the part of being able to edit. Because edit keeps the juices flowing. Edit keeps everything going. And pretty soon, after a while, the idea is that you've honed it. It's all about honing it. You never want this scenario to be where you're not taking your ideas and molding them, changing them, just like clay with an artist. It starts out as a lump, right? It's a big blob. It means nothing. It's wet, it's sticky, it's slimy, it doesn't even work. And all of a sudden, he starts spinning it. And as he spins it and creates it and grabs it with his hands, it starts to flow and starts to come up. And the same things happen to your ideas. And again, I don't care if this is about gardening or cooking, artwork or machinery. Doesn't matter. You got to start at the basis. You got to be able to edit. So here we are editing our ideas, trying to figure out what to do. And as we move forward with this, we're all in this segment of, gee, I don't know if I can do any of these things. Yes, you can. Don't ever tell yourself you can't do something. You can. You can do it in the simplest of forms. Sure, you may want to keep it secret. I don't want everybody to know what I'm thinking because I'm not even sure this is a great idea. Okay, no problem. Get you a spiral notebook and just write your ideas and thoughts and drawings and sketches in that spiral notebook. Throw it underneath the desk. Don't worry about it. When another idea comes, pick that spiral notebook up and start writing again, putting something down. Maybe the next creative idea for you to become the next entrepreneur. You could be the next president. You could be the next corporate person. You could be anything you can dream you want to be. But I am going to tell you at this point of setting your goals, here's a key factor. Set it with what you like to do. If you don't set your goals on things you like to do, you're really going to have a challenge. Look, it's hard enough to be good at what you like doing. Try to pick something you don't like doing. So if I all of a sudden picked a curriculum, let's just go real simple with this. Let's say I'm going to get a degree in something, but I don't know what it is, and I'm feeling pressure because all my friends have already made their ideas up of what they want to be and where they want to work. Man, they're talking about cities and apartments and how they're going to live and what they're going to drive, and you're sitting there going, gee, I don't know. I hadn't really made up my mind. Well, my friends, start thinking about what you do and enjoy doing and what in that curriculum that you're studying can be applied to what you're doing. Now, I'm not saying everybody who gets out of college does exactly what they intended to do at graduation. Okay? Not everybody, again, has quite that ability to control their future. Okay? I have a daughter who's very creative. She graduated at SFA with a fashion merchandising degree. Wow. She was going to set the world on fire, do all these competitions for window treatments in the stores where you see all the beautiful fashions coming up for the seasons, and you dress the windows out and the mannequins are all ready to go. She works for Entergy in the Woodlands now, the electricity business. What was that? But you know what? She found something she liked. Working with people, working with the creative side of her, moved her into different skill sets that she hadn't known about when she was studying it in college. The same thing would happen to you. It can happen. You may not graduate and perform what you graduated in. There may be a change. That doesn't mean you're a failure, as we saw in that line before. It's not this. Okay? Just because you turned around and changed what you graduated with and started doing something you weren't intending to do does not make you the failure. Okay? Your degree and your basis that you're building here today will take you far beyond what you know. As I said in the beginning, none of us know our future. Your best things are yet to come. And that same statement holds for me. I'm never finished. I've always got another company to start. I've always got more things to create and do. So the storyline is, you may do something different than what you intended to do. But as you go through this success and as you start polishing and preparing, you're going to first start with setting your goals. Next thing we're going to get right into. Bang. Set your image and your style. This is pretty important. You know, you've all heard of the phrase, dress for success. It's pretty important. It's not just a flippant little statement. The scenario of dress for success, let me tell you how it works. Let's say you're going to be something in the refineries, an engineer, an operator, welder, any number of things out there in their staff. Walk out there without the proper equipment and they won't let you pass the guard. Dress for success. I went to a meeting at one of the refineries. I couldn't get in the refinery dressed like this. They would not allow it. Stop. Turned me around and said, when you get the proper equipment, steel-toe boots, hard hat, safety glasses, long sleeves, etc., you can have the meeting that you were going to have with us in our administrative offices. It wasn't like I was going out to one of the fracking units to work with them and figure out how to crack the different oils down to a different environment and different product lines. No, I was just going in there to have an administrative discussion. Couldn't get on board. Then a thunderstorm came up and they shooed us all away from that location in the beginning. But we held our meeting in a restaurant down the street. I could then attend dressed like this. Dress for success. If you're going to be in a group that does tattoos, you want to look like the group that handles tattoos. You want to be able to turn around and say, hey, what have I got going on? And somebody says, you know, you're probably a real nice person, but I don't think you look like us in the tattoo group. Mr. Condon, you may be a great architect. You may be an artist. You may be able to draw flowers. But I don't think anybody's going to want somebody who looks like their granddad tattooing on them. So we're probably not going to be able to hire you. You got to dress for success. You got to look the part. And so as we go along looking at all these different things, the first thing I want you to have is an appropriate look. And look at that one in the middle. Eye contact. eye contact. I want you all to start working on your eye contact when you're in this business college and you talk to one of your fellow students, your instructors, your professors. You want to shake hands and look at them directly, eye contact. And that handshake needs to be firm. Not break a finger, not break an arm, firm. It's got to be real. How you doing, man? How you doing? He sat on the front row. These people on the front row, they're bold. I like that. That's pretty neat. And you know, there was an old story about coming to sit on the front row, and this lady came in and said, I'm sorry, is there any room on the front, is there any room on the front row? And they said, oh, no, ma'am. It's all taken up by the people who are going to be successful. So I'm just telling you. You watch people move to the front, they may be a little more aggressive than you think. Also could be running out of time. They just ran in and sat down. You never know. So the storyline is, as you start making eye contact, handshakes, big smile, you've got the look. You're working on first impressions. And obviously with first impressions, you want to go right into being polite. Now this sounds like what your grandmother shows you, right? Being polite, manners, complimentary, etc., etc. Well, sure, grandmother was right. She'd been around a long time. She understood how it worked. If you want to be recognized, accepted, and worked along in the group, be polite. Work with it. But when you talk to someone, talk to their face. We are also used to talking to our phones and an iPad, and we're just, nobody knows how to interact with people socially. We want to make sure you understand that your social skills are one of the first things that people are going to pick up when they begin to meet you, to try to start helping you create what you want to become. Because you're going to need other people to help you become whatever you become, and being successful and polite will get you there, and certainly be positive. Now, I was just at a contractor meeting before I arrived here. We were all talking about the various contractors that are at this meeting. And some of us needed to make phone calls to other contractors to get their advice on this big project. And we all laughed, because one contractor we knew was always a little down. He was kind of the Eeyore of the group. You know who Eeyore is, huh? From Disney, the little donkey that kind of walks along behind. And Eeyore has that tail that's always hanging down, and his head's always over. And Eeyore just walks like this. He's never quite sure if the world's ever going to shine in his direction. Eeyore's always a little bothered by everything. Okay, in the world of being successful, sure, things may bother you. Things may get to you. You may be really interrupted. What I want you to be able to do is go through it. Be positive. Find you a new way to be determined, to get involved, to build, to go beyond it. Yep, sadness is going to hit you. You can't ignore it. You can't go past it. You got to go through it every time. Doesn't matter how difficult it's going to be, particularly in the business world. You're going to have to learn how to go through it. Brush it aside. Set it up. Learn from your failures. Figure out what else you needed to do for the ingredient. And then move forward. Look, some of you are bakers and enjoy cooking. I do. I enjoy cooking. A lot of my recipes, because all my guinea pigs are my family members, go, Dad, that didn't work. I don't know what you did with that one, but that didn't work. I'm like, okay, all right, fine, hey, you don't have to be so dang, it's a little edgy, just tell me. No, we're not trying to be mean, we're just saying. I go, I got it. So, stir something else up, put some on there, try this. Oh, no, that's better. That's nice. So you got to go through it. You're going to get a little rejection, or you may have a drawing or some research that you created. You think it's the banged up best thing you ever did. And you bring it in, and somebody is going to pick it to pieces. Because they've been there, they've done that. Maybe they're a little quicker and brighter on it. Hey, you could have a boss one day that's jealous of you. You could have a boss that is jealous of you, and you got to figure out how to get around that little scenario. And that's going to take a lot of editing, a lot of positive thinking, and a lot of ways of being polite. You'll learn political correctness and all the other things in the office when you get there. But you better be the one that holds it together. As you go through these treacherous times and you're growing and changing and creating that world around you, you've got to be the one that has the most positive control of a bad situation. Look, you see people all the time, they have press people. They have people in front. They are the folks who meet with them. Watch the political news these days. Everybody's got somebody spinning it, right? Everybody's spinning something. And guess how they all spin it? It's positive. I fell off the wall. No problem. I was meant to. You know, I tripped on the... No problem. I was going to do that anyway. I mean, everybody spins it. But we're not talking about spin here. We're just talking about you being positive. But everyone has to get through that struggle and become positive. And so here we go with the next segment. Dogmatic determination. Wow. This could be the biggest hit of the whole talk. How tough are you? Are you tough enough to be successful? That's what it comes down to. Because a whole bunch of folks, particularly in their early years, have not yet tempered themselves to become tough enough to be successful. Because again, unless you're just really, really, really lucky, it's a battle. You've got to battle all these things we've already gone through, and now you're up to this segment. You have the greatest idea. You have a new business in your hand. You have a little bit of pocket change in your pocket to launch this business, and you are going to one of the largest bank loan officers in this area. And you go, Mr. Banker, I've got it. We are about to crack the envelope of this new field that I have developed. And I want you to be involved with me. I need a loan. They go, let me see your financials, let me see your papers, let me see your background, let me see your credentials, let me see where you were educated, who's your family members, what affiliations do you have, let me have all that, and we'll take a look at it and get right back to you. He comes back in a week, or we would like to help you. We think you're really going to be successful, but I don't think you're quite the risk we're looking for. I really thank you for coming by and seeing us. And you pick up those papers, and you go, what's wrong with you? Because, well, it's just not in our format. We specialize in a different group. It's not quite the same for us. The next thing you know, you've got to turn and pivot on the word no. Yeah, you're going to be hot, you're going to be mad, you're going to be disappointed, you're going to have all those emotions just hit you. You may turn red in the face at that moment. You may walk out of that building and start welling up with tears. It's okay. It's a natural emotion. It's okay. I've had it happen to me. You know what? Shit. Shake it off. Take Taylor Swift. She knows how to sing it. Shake it off. Shake it off. Brush yourself off. Go get some cold water. Splash it on your face. Go to Dairy Queen. Have some ice cream. Go get your toes done. Whatever you like to do. Go play a game of basketball with one of your friends that you know you can beat. Makes you feel better. Do whatever you want. Shake it off. Get out there. Don't pity yourself. Get strong on your middle game. Go back, change, edit that plan. Knock on the next bank door. Don't dare let any one of those people shut you down. It ain't right. You don't need to listen to that. You brush yourself off and you get going again. You start thinking how it's going to work. You start thinking, what did I do wrong? Edit, review, look at what you heard. See what they said. Check your financials. See what happened. What did you need to polish? What did he say I needed to bring to the table before I could get that loan? Take it and run with it. You may do the same thing, not for a loan, but for an application to a business you want to work with. You're going to all graduate out of here. I know you are because I did. If I did, you can. Okay? So you're all going to graduate. You're all going to pick the company you want to work for. There's going to be maybe some offers made right as you're coming out of college. You won't have to look far. You've got a lot of knowledge, you've got a lot of experience, you've got good instructors here, you're listening, you're participating, you've already started working on all your hand and eye contact, you're being polite, you're being good, you really know how to play your game, and you think, I got this one. This one is going to be mine. I am going to work for this company. I'm so dang excited. I cannot wait. And they don't call you. Okay? All right. Not a good day. Not a good moment. Pretty devastating at the point. So what? You got something better coming. You got something else coming down the road. It may not be what you thought it was going to be. You may be not that fashion designer. You may be working for a utility company. You may not be at the point you were at. You may be totally in something else. You never know where you're going to be, but don't ever let them shut you down. You just pick up and go. And get fired up about it. Gosh, it's okay to have a little bit of pity. It's okay to have some tears shed. I do it. You can do it. Everybody does it. Then, boom, wash it. Go back to work. Figure it out. Hey, love this one. Talk to yourself. How many of you talk to yourself? Raise your hand. 1, 2, 3. Well, I got some brothers and sisters in there. Glad to know that. How many of you talk to yourself? How many of you answer yourself? Show me. There's the smarter ones, believe it or not. The ones who talk and answer, now you got it going on. My friends all say, sure, you got me nuts. I go, oh, no, listen. Whenever I'm answering, I'm listening. If I'm just talking, I'm just blowing off steam, right? So if you're just blowing off steam, okay, say whatever you want to say. But if you're answering, you're listening. And guess what? Something's about to change. When you start listening to what you're saying and you start answering what's going on, something's about to change. You're about to get better at what you're doing. You're about to start recreating it. Now, I'm not talking about anger, okay? It's not up there. This isn't about anger. This is about editing and changing yourself to move forward, to get things happening, so that you understand where you're at and what you need to modify to become dogmatically determined. Because if you're not that so intense on becoming successful, you will be merely whatever happens. I can't stress that enough. I have young men and women who work for me each and every day. And one of the first things that they're involved with me, is being successful at all odds. No matter what you face with, no matter what happens, you may get turned down, shut down, stopped on that moment, but you had better have the ingredients to get to the other side, to the goal line, to the end results that I need tomorrow, or maybe that same day. I'll give you a quick, easy example. I need you to get something for me, and it needs to be here by this afternoon. He calls Houston, Houston doesn't have it. He calls Dallas, Dallas doesn't have it. He doesn't have, there's nowhere in Texas, but it's in Alabama. But Alabama's got a hurricane going on, they can't make it. But he turns out and finds out that they have it in California, but it's 3 days. But Alabama's got it, but they got a hurricane. It could be here in 2 days. He makes the decision to go to California. Right answer. 3's better than nothing. Today was perfect. 2 days, but I can't get it to you, is worthless. That's like saying, hey, I sell tomatoes, they're only a nickel a piece when I have them, but I'm out right now. So what? I don't get any tomatoes, I can't finish what I'm doing. So what you want to be able to do is analyze where you're at for that moment and move on. And nobody I know is better at that than you in this room. And here's why. You got the internet in the palm of your hands. My gosh, you can research in milliseconds all the information you want as for suppliers, products, times, deliveries, dates, everything. Heck, you can deposit a check with your phone, right? I lease to big banks, big corporations. Guess what? One of my falling commodities, not doing where they need it as much. Banks. Why? Phones. You can make a deposit with your phone. You can transfer money with your phone. You can pay your credit card bill through your phone into your bank account. Now, there were years ago that you couldn't do that. I mean, not many years ago. You needed the teller to help you negotiate through what you needed. You can get a house mortgage online. You can set up trust funds. You can contact a lawyer online. People are working in a variety of different atmospheres and different environments, and all of a sudden, they don't need banks. Therefore, I'm taking bank space that's normally grade A, prime, some of the nicest spots that I own, and we're converting them into other abilities. We're just recreating them from the ground up. So all of a sudden, I got to get fired up because my tenants are no longer needing my space. So now I'm recreating them into something totally new, something totally different. And we have to provide it in a new format. And then somebody says, oh yeah, I'll have some of that. That looks pretty good. So let's get down here just a little bit more. And here's where we get towards the end. Be thankful. All of us in this room have so much to be thankful for. Because we all know people in other places, in our families, outside our families, in our country, outside our country, that aren't so blessed, aren't so happy, aren't so provided for. So with that, to be a good businessman and woman, to be a good, successful person in general, share. Share. And share without guilt. Don't be the kind of person who gives something to someone under the angst of, no, I'll just share. Just take this. Because if you give under that pretense, you will not find a happiness. You have to share with the intent of getting happiness. When you share, you get happiness. So provide, reach out, stimulate, laugh, hug. I'm going to tell you what, this applies to boys and girls. You don't get enough hugs. I'm just telling you. And I'll tell you how it can be such a turnaround in your life. Next time you're around your loved ones, sister, brother, mom, dad, give them a hug. Watch. Without being asked. Just walk up. No reason. Give them a big hug. Not one of these little, okay, hey, that's good. They're not contaminated. Just give them a hug. Just hold. The longer you hold on, the more they get worried. The longer they're going to be, now all of a sudden you're going to see them, well, wait a minute. What's going on here? You just grab them and hug them. Watch them. Watch your face. There's something embracing about that. And then, of course, participate. Gosh, that gets back to that action. Do it. Get involved. Be a part of it. Stand up and roll. Be active. Do not be a recluse. Sure, you may develop the greatest new computer game out there, but be active is a lot more fun. Be an active computer game designer. Be active. Get involved. And certainly, last but not least, if you're going to be a good, successful businessman and businesswoman, you had better be able to forgive. Forgive. That's another one of those scenarios like hugging. If you can forgive and you can share, you can nearly do anything you want in this world. Because you can forgive. Now that's not taught in the business college. Okay? Some of this is not what you'll find in your curriculum out there. But if you can forgive the coworker who ended up causing issues that stopped you from succeeding on the goal you had for that moment, but yet you need to work with them the rest of the day or tomorrow or next week, then you can go on to become successful. But if you are held where you can't forgive someone that you worked with, someone that you have a relationship with, someone that you're counting on that income to provide for more and more people, if you can't forgive, you're going to be in deep trouble. It's going to rack you. As you know, anger will take over your mind. That's exactly what anger does. To the point you do irrational things. All of us have been angry. All of us have had that scenario. And when you're at that point, you step back later on and go, man, I don't know what got into it. I don't know what happened. I would bet, although I've never asked, the prison is full of people who couldn't figure out how to forgive. And now that they're in prison, they may never learn how. Because that system can crawl all over you. It's eat or be eaten. You don't want to get into that. To be successful, you're going to have to forgive. I understand. I'm moving on. I have no grudges. Guess what? Look at the bottom one. I'm growing up. Hey, I always tell my girls at the house, hey, it's not all about me. Hey, it's all about me. They all get laughing. All the folks in my house are girls. And even my dog is a girl. And I love every one of them. I'm just crazy about it. My hobby is hanging out with my family. That's what I love to do. Whatever they want to do, it's fine. I get home every day. I say, what do you want to do? I don't know. We thinking tonight you're cooking out. I go, oh, okay, great. All right, I got it. No, maybe tonight we're going out to, Papa C's. Okay, that's fine. Doesn't matter what they want to do. I'm happy. I'm in it. Because whatever it is, it's going to be a pleasure. It's going to be an absolute pleasure. What I do at work is work. What I do at family is pleasure. It's not work. And there may be some people I got to work with a little harder to have pleasure with them, but the reality is it's pleasure. So it's fine. So you get out there and you start enjoying it. So what I want all of you to understand is these things that we're talking about, being thankful, dogmatic determination, setting your image and style, and certainly setting your goals are the simple steps it takes for you to become successful. It's not difficult. It's easy to do. You have to have control of what you want to become. And all of these things in each and every way makes you stronger, makes you better at what you do. And these goals and these outlines will help you not in just business, but it will help you in life. If you notice, when you go and get involved in this, you'll enjoy it for life. This isn't just about business. Yes, the subject is success, and we're in the business college. But if you use any one of these that we discussed today in your personal life, you'll move through relationships and do better. You'll move through your personal health and do better. You'll move through any number of areas. With children, with older generation folks, you'll do better. Because all of these are connected. And if you see that there's some similarity, you're the winner today. Now, why did I give you the $1? Well, for one main reason. To pay attention. I pay for attention. I pay attention. Now here's the great news. All of you were so good, you get $1 on the way out. You get a bonus. So you're $2 up just for coming to this class. Somebody said, hey, the ones watching this on the internet are going to really be ticked off because they weren't here. But the scenario is, don't you all want to pay? When you go to work for somebody, first thing they don't do is say, pay attention. And my friends, do better. Because this can be the difference between I got your attention to your wandering. And if you're wandering, I'm probably not going to get the preparation and the steps that I need. Now, I'm not demanding, I'm just successful. That's all. So if you're going to be in my game, if you're going to be in my world, I want you to be involved. You're going to commit. We're going to get on it. Because you know what? I'm going to commit to you. Here's a funny story. It's a true story. One of my good friends has a huge corporation. Very, very, very successful. Flies around in his own plane from business location to business location. And he was in one of his staff meetings. I wasn't there. I was just seeing him right afterwards. And so as he's going through a staff meeting, he steps out and he's got this scowl on his face. I go, buddy, what's up? He goes, I was just in a staff meeting and I told someone to do some things for me, get this done, make sure this group's got this covered. And their answer was, okay, we'll see if we can get that done. And he did this slow turn. You ever watch the Three Stooges? Any of y'all Three Stooges fans around? They do this slow turn. They say Niagara Falls. You ever seen that? Well, that's back in my generation. So anyway, he does this slow turn and he's like, you're going to try. You're going to try to do what I asked you to do? Okay. You try to get that done and I'll try to get your payroll together by the end of this week. Maybe if you got what I want done, you'll get what you need done. No, I need more than try. We need success. That's what we all need. We want to measure it on our success. And so with that, my friends, I hope you all have a great day. And come by here one at a time. If you want, there's a business card, and I'm going to give you $1 on the way out. How about that?